What's up everyone, this is Simigy, and for this video today, it's going to be a little bit different because this is going to be my actual first tutorial in terms of using Photoshop or possibly any like video editing skills in the future. So in this video, I'm actually going to teach on how you actually make these derpy faces like you see here on the screen right now that I actually worked on. You can see that we're missing Raven here because I kind of forgot about the spotlight, so yeah, you can actually see all these also characters have their eyes exploded, their mouth is a little bit more playful. That way, just make them a little bit more cute that way. Just basically taking the concept that you can see from Chung with his dirt face, you can see on his Comic Crusader, take that and actually paste it on the majority of the chibi characters we actually have right now. So you could do on the actual original model with the characters right now, but sometimes the result may vary. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Alright, so let's get started. So you can see the example right here, they look kind of derpy. But I'm gonna, and this time instead of actually copying it from the Comic Crusader's original chibi picture, I'm actually gonna make one on my own by hand. So I'll give you the rundown of how I actually would do it, and if you guys want to do it for yourself with any non-also character chibi, you could try that for yourself too, just to get for your little practice. So let's get started. So I already got like a couple of different type of images right here on the very tab. You can see on the top, they're going to be a little bit different, so process is going to be the same, but there's some tweak little modification you would have to do on each artwork depending on where they're facing, and you have to try to adjust like the eyes, like make sure like you're looking at a particular direction of the character. So you can actually see on LP actually looking at this angle, so I have to adjust the eyes to look at that one direction instead of looking straight at you. So just a little keep it in mind. So right now I'm going to go with the Aspara. So you can see she's really smiling right now. She's really cute right now. So excuse me. You can see her on her original chibi. You see her eyes will actually be open. So if I could actually bring it up right now, just give me a moment to do that. To show you original artwork of her chibi. See right here. You see her eyes is really open. You see, I could actually base on work on that on my own, but if you want to see that with this aura picture, I'll do it in another video if you guys request for it. But for now, just for time's sake, I can show you the one her face, or I mean her eyes are actually closed. So what I would do is I would actually lock this layer so I don't actually mess it up. So if I actually try to paint on it, it says it won't allow me to do it. This way, if I were to mess up, I don't have to actually touch the main picture itself. So I actually create a new layer, so I actually draw on it, and actually then you go to this little option right here on this corner, and I take the Elliptical Marquee tool. This allows you to do either a circular selection on some sort. So sometimes when you actually use a tool, you can see that it goes in various directions, and it's kind of hard for people to get a perfect circle right off the bat like that. But there's a little shortcut that you actually can learn on how to do. So you want to hold Alt and Control. I think on that mind is Alt Shift. You click on the center point where you want to put your circle at, and you actually pull it. You can actually start to realize the circle is actually completely perfect. So like if you expand it, it still maintains the perfect circle, but if you release it, it still constraints on the axis, but the circle can't get, it won't stay in the center. So that's the reason why I use the Alt and Shift. And you can see you can actually change the size of it. So the first step we want to do is you want to get the circle, you have it selected, and you actually want to change it to black. So like you see in these previous photos, you can see there's it starts with a black circle. You want to take that, and then you want to use the bucket tool, dump it in there, and then don't be like afraid of seeing your artwork being messed up, because that's how modifiers do these days. It's just they manipulate the artwork. Sometimes it won't good at the beginning, but it all matters towards the end product of it. So this one's a bit too big for hers, so I'm gonna hold Shift and click on the corner. You can actually adjust a circle without actually deforming it. So I'm just gonna I want to keep the circle just enough to cover her eyes. I'm just gonna do that right now, and then you have your first circle. Looks freaky right now, you can see. But this is going to be our starting point. And then you're going to press Ctrl D to deselect it. Now you have to do the same thing this time, but you're going to have to pick a different color. So you can see what the eye is going to be, actually no, it's going to be white. So you have to do the same thing. You pick the Elliptical Marquee tool, do the same thing. It'll approximate, and then you're gonna. I usually make another layer just in case, like, I don't want to if I were to work everything in one layer and you realize you made a mistake on it, that's being like all your work you did previously will actually be overwritten by what you did before. So I would keep it more layers the better. But if you feel confident enough you could work on one layer, go ahead. That's just go wherever you feel like it's more comfortable. So jump right here, and you can see it's literally almost perfect derp eyes right now. But once you actually get the eyes down, you can actually just merge it down, merge this layer you just created. You use merge visible. Oops. Wrong thing. I'm supposed to merge down, not merge visible. If you actually use merge visible, it'll actually take all the layers as visible and then combine them to one layer, as you can see before. So if you do merge down, we'll actually merge the layer you actually been selected and then actually merge with the layer that's below it, not the entire thing. So that's what you want to do. So once you have the eyes done, you're going to control copy this, and you have a exact same replica of it. See, she's already looking already. Alright, looks good. Looks kind of derpy so far, but I'm going to fix the mouth right now. So if you want to do a little photoshopping, like I'm going to do right now, so you use this drop, select the color of her face. It's going to be pale, which already been selected, but it's real pale anyway, so you can't really tell about the color. Take the paintbrush and make a new layer. Readjust the brush so it's too big. Of her face, it looks like her mouth is gone. So for the mouthpiece, it's pretty much the same process, but it's gonna be extra steps after that. So I'm gonna take the circle. I'm gonna draw do the same thing basically with the eyes. So you're gonna do the same thing, Control Shift, and it's gonna be a circle. And just to make things easier on you, you can actually snag on these mouthpieces. You can actually just click the color. You have the color right there on this option. Whoops! I click on her hair by accident. You want to dump it in that layer. It looks pretty freaky as is, but we can actually fix it. Just the sizing, and then what you want to do is just to make this part the only flat part, you can actually literally just take an eraser and just shave it right off. That part literally. See, the eraser is way too big right now. Doesn't be perfect, but this looks very good look already. But just to take it extra step further, you can see the little colors around the mouth. So you can actually take the color of that one. There you have it. And you want to use the FX option right on the very bottom to use drop shadow. Then you're gonna have to pick the color codes. It's still the only issue with this process because you're not gonna know which color it's gonna be exactly. So you can actually try to approximate it. You can see she's like, oh my god, this looks way too hilarious. So that color looks fine as is. It's rather spread. I want to try to keep it consolidated. Not too much. So that looks very good as is. And then it's just to finish it off, you can see there's a little gap right here. So just color that layer. And then you can just nab a little paintbrush on there and make it 1 pixel. I don't want to do it too much. So there you have it. There's the Arbor version. So this looks like a great finished product as is, but I would really do a little bit of modification. So try to mess around with the eyes a bit. Just expand wherever until you feel like it's derpy enough. So there you have it. There's her with the derpy face. Looks pretty derp. Alright, the next one, however, you can see we have Emperor's Sword. So I actually took this file from the LWiki site, and it actually literally had the all white background. So I actually can show you what it looked like before. It's a little white. So I went ahead and just like took all that white background off and make it look like it's all a JPEG file. So that's something you can do. You want to keep it clean, you can paste it all over the place. So you can see with Emperor's Sword, this would be a little different case on the view angle, because if you see with Aspara, her eyes is literally facing towards you. So that's like no-brainer, but in this case, she's actually looking at towards the right. So this is a little something you might want to consider. Excuse me. So just to show you how I actually changed the eyes. So I want to copy this layer since I already work on it. Looks way too small because you see the spiral one is a little bit blurry. This indicating this file is a lot more smaller compared to the Emperor sword, which is a lot more cleaner. So I'm gonna have to do this from scratch, but it's gonna be no problem because this is really easy to make one. So I'm just gonna start with the circles. Actually, if you want to take a little step further, I can show you on how to get rid of the eyes. Just make sure you want to show you like a blank face. It's gonna work. So I can show you that right now. So I'm gonna use the dropper, select the color I want to pick, and then you're going to use the polygonal lasso tool, which allows you to select what type of pixels you want to pick around it, or what type of zone you want to pick around this, instead of having to use the, well, actually you normally use the quick selection tool. I could just do that. I could show you that, but sometimes it actually picks up the areas I don't want it to pick up. So I usually use that tool sparingly. So I'm just going to remove that visible. So I'm going to use the polygonal lasso tool. Select her eyes. In this case, I'm going to take her eyebrows and just remove it all off. Like, remove that. Keep portions of her hair. We're going to adjust that. So you want to go around the eyes. And you can see around this border, there's a little black drop shadow in the hair, so I don't want to take it off too much of it. The hair off. Go. So I already selected the color. You can just literally just take your brush and start painting away. Like just do like 36. Erase it all like that. Okay, it looks like we have to do some cloning stamp. So you want to use this cloning stamp. Make sure the hardness is 0, so we don't want to take it like super solid off the bat. Select this layer. Do this from this layer, the actual image itself. But if you select on your layer 1, it won't pick up anything at all. So you want to click this layer. I want to unlock it so I could edit it off the bat. Let's do some modifications. You know what? I think it would be better if we use the smudge tool instead, just to blend the two colors together. This is a part of the process of photoshopping. Sometimes you gotta experiment something. Sometimes things don't work. Something that does work. That's why it makes art. People just keep on. So I'm just gonna spread this out, make it look as natural. Size it for that. So you can see her eye from that point. Spread out just a bit. What is this? So we can proceed to the next step and do her other eye. Same thing. Okay, try to get as much of her eyes as possible, and then for the hair, try to leave as much of the border to maintain the boldness of the hair. Should measure off on her. I have to pick a different color this time so you can see her face. The color tone changes. Take that one. Let me see what happens. Be a lot more. Do a little bit of some fixing here. So you can see there's a it's a shadow here. So you could just do the same things, like follow along the path of the shadow. Things right as this. Big drop. Brush and then brush it out. Well, there you go. There's some. Although I didn't do a good job on this one, but this is going to be just for tutorial sakes. So I'm going to proceed on making the eyes. The same thing. Up. And dump it in right in. I'm going to make a new layer because you're going to realize the paintbrush is there. So if I do paste it on there, or actually paste on the where I actually painted at. That. Adjust it a bit. New one. White color again. And do another selection. Sometimes it won't be perfect on the circles, so you want to be a little perfect. You can actually try to guesstimate where you want to put it. Try that out. Not perfect. I have a trial and error, basically. Also, you can actually move the circle to make it more perfect. See, your eyes a bit more cleaner now. So we could just go ahead and then merge down. You can copy this layer. Side. Her eyes is a little bit hilarious. Technically, that stuff would be done, but even when I change the perspective, I believe it was the distort tool I used. So once you use that, you can actually pick the corner and then try to angle your picture according to where her face is looking at. So in this case, she's looking towards the right. So I changed the eyes to look that way. And the same thing for that one. If you can't select this one with your right mouse, with your mouse button, you actually just press Control T, just basically just transformation button. Then you can actually select that particular layer and you can adjust it wherever you want. I'm just playing around with it. Just a matter if you want to make it perfect or not. Just make them bigger. Right. Good enough for me. Color. Paintbrush. Mask it over it. Do the same thing with the faces. I'm gonna nab Booth's mouth again. We have Fatal Phantom, which I'll be working later to see what happens if you do in the real non-chibi model. I'm gonna do the same thing. Click the circle. Let's circle here. Dump it around there. Right. Take an eraser tool. Just like shave it right off like that. Oh. Good drop shadow. I have expanded. There we go. Spread. I don't want to make it too much. I don't want to curve like he's like ate a donut or something. It's perfect. A little derpy, but for the final touches, you gotta go that little section of her mouth. Paintbrush, I'll dab it around there on that layer. And pixels. Oops. Too much right there. Just go around the board, not like make it a triangle shape. Otherwise, it won't look good if you zoom it out. You just do. You won't make a complete triangle. Just do like mimic it somehow. Sometimes, like doing this type of stuff, you'll like people won't look at the very fine details. So it's okay if it looks weird in close up, but when you zoom out, it probably won't be noticeable. See, there's some spots, but see, looks pretty good as is. Right, so you have Spar, it looks derpy. You have Emperor Sword, it looks derpy. Now we're gonna take Fatal Phantom, the original Chung picture. You can see it's a bit blurry, but that's something I can't have control of to make it more fine detail. Alright, so we're gonna do the same steps. I believe I could take this eye layer and just literally just copy it since I was pretty big on it already. So if you look at his face, he's looking towards his right directly. I'm gonna do some adjustments. Sometimes you can actually change his face to make it all faceless, but I decided not to because you're gonna use the eye to cover his eyes anyway. There you have it. Copy that one. It looks pretty badass with the derpy eyes already. But if you want to go a little bit more fancy with it, you can actually use select the hair. Actually, show you right now on how to keep the hair and then cover it over the derpy eyes. So what you want to do is you want to copy this hair. So I'm gonna use the same tool, the polygonal lasso tool. Here, just retain this hair spot right here, which I'm gonna keep. Press enter, copy that one. And I'm gonna just deselect this since I already have it copied. I'm gonna move this eye part here and then paste a hair piece exactly where it is. So that way you have that hair covering over the eyes and make it look like it's natural. So you want to do the same thing again. He looks like a one-eye veil phantom. Let's see. It's like I want to keep this portion of the hair. Bear to. Doesn't have to matter. There we go. Copy that one. Copy that one. Go. Nice. Press that a couple times in case for good luck. Looks like it did. Oh, I forgot to pick the layer. That's why. That's the thing. Let's see. Go. Just the eyes. Transfer that one. Where'd it? This one, same step. Sometimes you want to skew it. Marquee. I have to rescale this one because it's not the same thing as the other eye. Better to move it down there. Right. So let's see what happens if I actually try to do on this non-chibi Chung here. Let's brush a bit bigger. Whoops, that's way too big. Take his entire face off. Let's go back to Lou. I'm gonna take the same color. Circle tool and make a new layer. This one's be a little bit unique because you have this armor piece that's going to cover his mouth. That's going to be fine. I'm going to use the bucket tool, dump it on there. Eraser, too big. Actually, I might have to make that circle a bit bigger. Barely notice it. For this angle, I'm gonna slash it on the angle rather than straight forward. That's pretty much. Drop that shadow on there. You see it's too much. Sometimes you gotta make decisions if you want to keep the mouthpiece on there, or you want to have to like adjust it, make sure the armor piece like covers the mouth, not to make it a bit. Sometimes the actual non-chibi model is not as cute as a chibi model. It's gonna take a little while here. Shaft was a bit too much here. Matter if you want to play around with the settings of them. There you go. There's Veil Phantom. So here you have it. It's a tutorial on how to make the derpy face. And then I think I actually did it for a couple of other classes too, just to I say this, make fun of them sometimes. So yeah, I made I don't know how to pronounce her class's name, but this is for Yamaraja's third class. Made this one right here. I didn't do the adjustments of her eyes because it's kind of more awkward position, but it still gets the job done. She still looks derpy. Alright, so if you want more of these tutorials in terms of doing Photoshop, or if you wanted me to do a video editing workshop, just throw it on a comment down below, and then I'll take any suggestions or any like how to do stuff. So hopefully thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video for now.